హాయ్ గైస్, వెల్కమ్ టు మై ఛానల్. మేమైతే బాస్టన్లో డక్ టూర్కి వెళ్ళామండి. ఇది 1.5 hours ఉంటుంది. 1 hour రోడ్ పైన, 30 minutes వాటర్లో. గైడ్ దాన్ని మేము రోడ్ పైన వెళ్తూ ఉంటే అన్ని విషయాలు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు. ఆయన ఇంగ్లీష్లోనే మాట్లాడినారు, కానీ నేను కింద సబ్ టైటిల్స్ వేశాను. ఇంకా మళ్ళీ డిస్టర్బ్ చేయటం ఎందుకని నేనేమీ మాట్లాడలేదు. మీరు ఈ టూర్ని ఇలాగే ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తారని అనుకుంటున్నాను. మీకేమైనా కమెంట్స్ ఉంటే నాకు కింద డిస్క్రిప్షన్లో తెలియచేయండి. నాకైతే ఈ టూర్ చాలా బాగా నచ్చింది. మీరు ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తారని అనుకుంటున్నాను. మీకు నచ్చినట్టయితే మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్కి షేర్ చేయండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఓకే, ఎంజాయ్ ద టూర్ ఫ్రమ్ హియర్. ఈ 1.5 hour యొక్క టూర్ని నేను 15 minutesకే కట్ చేసి పెట్టాను. కి 100 సంవత్సరాల హిస్టరీ ఉంది. ఐ హోప్ యూ ఎంజాయ్ దిస్ హిస్టారికల్ ప్లేస్.
Order it! Quack, quack. Okay, we jumped the gun on that one. I know, you're very excited to quack. So Boston was founded in 1630 by a group of people called the Puritans. The Puritans, they were living over in England. They were being persecuted for their religious beliefs. They didn't like that all that much. They saved up some money. They bought some boats. Soldiers is out on patrol in front of the old State House. They're surrounded by an angry group of colonists. The colonists harass the British soldiers. They throw rocks. They throw ice. The crowd gets bigger and angrier and bigger and angrier. The British soldiers are arrested, put on trial for murder. One of the lawyers defends them is a guy named John Adams. The same John Adams who going to be the second president of the United States, but he chooses to defend them so they can get a fair trial. And they're actually found not guilty of murder by reason of self-defense and set free. But that doesn't stop John Adams. Old City Hall. Today, Old City Hall is a steakhouse. Next, the King's Chapel Burying Ground is, you guessed it, the King's Chapel. A chapel, not a steakhouse. The bell that hangs in the belfry of the King's Chapel is the largest bell ever cast by Paul Revere. Now, Paul Revere is most famous for his midnight ride the night before the American Revolution began, which we're going to talk about later. He did a lot of stuff. On our left is the Omni Parker House Hotel, the oldest continually operated hotel in the United States. It's been open since 1855, and it's the birthplace of Boston cream pie, the official dessert of Massachusetts. On the right is the Granary Burying Ground. John Hancock and Samuel Adams. And of course, you can always go across the street, the Beantown Pub, the only bar in the world where you can... They buried him here. And James Otis is buried here. One of the leaders of the anti-slavery movement. He had an anti-slavery newspaper he published called The Liberator, and their motto was, "No union with slave owners." But in 1829, when he gave his first anti-slavery speech, even though slavery had been illegal in Massachusetts for almost 50 years, the idea of abolishing slavery in the South was still a very unpopular idea, even here in Boston. And a mob surrounded the church, and William Lloyd Garrison had to be snuck out the back for his own safety. Look up the hill to the right. It's the Massachusetts State House up on top of Beacon Hill with its beautiful 23-karat gold dome. This is Boston Common, the oldest public park in the United States. It's been here since 1634. This is their livestock. So if you were a Puritan, you owned a cow, you'd bring it to Boston Common, it would eat grass. Common, a beer garden, college graduation. Now, moving on. Now, Emerson, their motto is, "The city is our campus," which is a very nice way of saying, we don't have a campus. Boston area. There's places like Harvard. That's where if you want to be the president someday. More people have gone to Harvard, have gone to be president of the United States than any other college. 8 to be exact. The theater district, some over 100 years old. Now, it's still a great neighborhood to check out a concert or a play or to create the land to build this beautiful neighborhood. That's a nice benefit of it, but it is not the main reason. By the mid-1800s, the Back Bay, it is basically an open sewer. Makes the whole city smell bad. They will keep bringing it to you. It's also going to be all you can pay. It is the only building in Boston on the list, and it is the only church on the list. Now, we are going to go around the block, so you'll get to see Trinity Church from all four sides. Plenty of opportunities to take pictures of it, or just take in its beauty. And like I said, I'll tell you more about it as we go. But first, I want everybody looking to the left, because we are going to get a great view of our... Let's give ourselves a quack. Ready? Order. 1912, nearly every president of the United States has stayed here since then, going all the way back to William Howard Taft. Before the hotel was here, this was the location of the Museum of Fine Arts, the MFA. The Museum of Fine Arts closed in the early 1900s and moved about 1.5 miles down the street to its current location. Dates back to 1669, over 350 years ago. Now get your cameras ready, because as we make the turn around Copley Square on the right, we're going to get our best view of Trinity Church. Best spot to grab a picture of it. Click, 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 click. Very beautiful. We got the main branch of the Boston Public Library. Their motto is 5 books at a time. 2 weeks. And maybe you go in the library, you look around, you look at all the beautiful architecture and the artwork on the inside, you pick up your 75 books, and you know, you're feeling a little tired. You need a place to rest your feet. Well, you know where you can rest your feet? Inside the Boston Public Library. At their bar. The Boston Public Library has a bar inside. It's called the Tea Room. Completed in 1877, designed by the architect Henry Hobson Richardson. And Henry Hobson Richardson, the Smithsonian Romanesque architect, is important because it is considered to be the first distinctly American style of architecture. So American architects were just copying what they were doing in Europe. My favorite old buildings in the city of Boston. Beautiful old red brick and stone building. It's a chandelier store. So if you need a new chandelier, that's the place to go. Now, this was not always... Now, in the 1940s, the Museum of Natural History had to close because they had too much stuff. Couldn't fit inside this little building anymore. Had to move to a larger location. And when they moved to a larger location, they changed their name. And there it is. Click, 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 click. Very beautiful. On the left, we're going to go back. You can see the swan boats. Now, if you can't tell what the swan boats are, they are pedal boats. And they take you around this park at a speed of 2 miles per hour. They're not very fast. Well, you're going to go at least twice that fast when you go on the Charles River. Massachusetts. So they're going to be showing, and they've been there since 1987. Expensive neighborhoods in the United States. It's also considered to be where they laid out the streets in advance and built the houses around them. Now, on this next street corner once stood the cottage of a man named William Black. She lived here for an entire 5 years, all by himself before the Puritans arrived. He came from England in 1623 as part of the Usateluguvlog colony, which was south of here. Didn't last very long. Most of the people went back to England. Not William Blackstone. He stayed behind. Came up the coast of Massachusetts, found the uninhabited Shaman Peninsula, built a cottage, had a 35th president of the United States, and one of 4 presidents born in Massachusetts. The State House was designed by the architect Charles Bullfinch, the front of the Bullfinch entrance. Construction began in 1795 when the cornerstone was laid by Governor Samuel Adams and his good buddy Paul Revere. The red brick portion was completed in 1798. It's been our state capitol building ever since. Sad lady on a bench, that's Mary Dyer. Mary Dyer was a martyr for religious freedom. She was a Quaker, lived here during the Puritan times. The Puritans came to Boston for religious freedom. She heard Quaker beliefs in the city of Boston, so they hanged her. Very sad. But 120 years on to the left, we got the Massachusetts Firefighter Memorial. In the center of the park, we got the Revolutionary War Monument, the big Massachusetts law enforcement. On the left side of the street, we will be able to see the beautiful 1800s. They are burning gas, and they're on this. The Departed from 2004 favorites. It was directed by Martin Scorsese. Just stairs. Some people say you can see a frog's face in the side of the building. Widest cable-stayed bridge in the United States. That bridge is 10 highway lanes wide and is considered to be the crown jewel of the Central project. This is the Museum of Science. So many great exhibits in there. They got a planetarium. You can learn about the stars. Actual robots. From Boston Dynamics, the kind you see on the news, not just Roombas. You saw the dinosaur out front. They got a really great dinosaur exhibit. And my favorite thing in the Museum of Science is underneath that white dome up there. Underneath that white dome is the Theater of Electricity, where they have a little bit of national history on your Triple Hop concerts. Keeps going by on the other side. But bear with me, safety first. Time for the safety speech. In the event of an emergency, we need to put on life jackets. No smoking on the water. And it's activate the propeller, turn on the navigation lights, sound the horn, and in we go! Woo! Splash! We did it, everyone. We made it. Boat now, boat now, boat now. Row your boat now, row your boat now. Row your boat now, boat now, boat now. We're a boat now, we're a boat now. We're a boat now, boat now. Row your boat now, boat now, boat now. What if that was the rest of the tour? Be a dance part. Alright, so we are in the Charles River, everyone. This is an 80-mile-long body of fresh water. The river is 35 feet deep at its deepest point. For most, the Charles River is only about 4 feet deep. In case you're wondering, yes, we are in the deep part. The river begins in a place called Hopkinton Marathon begins. Now the Boston Marathon goes in a relatively straight line. This river is very windy. The marathon is 26.2 miles. The river is 80 miles. The river ends in Boston Harbor to this day, and it's considered one of the best public high schools anywhere in the United States. A year later, in 1636, the Puritans would open the first college in what would become the United States across the river, over in Newtown. Anybody know the name of the first college in the United States? He's not Samuel Adams, the master propagandist and agitator. He's not John Hancock, the rich guy financing everything. But what Paul Revere is great at is organizing people on the ground. And when tensions begin to rise after the Boston Tea Party, Paul Revere comes up with a system of how to warn the local militia should the British Army leave Boston and march on the countryside to try and seize the guns and the ammunition and the gunpowder. And that's exactly what happens on the night of April 18, 1775, when the British march on Concord. Paul Revere puts his plan into action, and he's one of many riders that night that warned the local militia. The American Revolution happens. Paul Revere goes back to being a businessman. He's pretty successful at the end of his life. He lives to be in his 80s. He has 16 kids, 50 grandkids. He dies, and then he's forgotten about for about 40 years. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 baby geese. Big flock. That's pretty cool. Don't see that every tour. And Dan's going to sound the horn for us one more time. The bridge is named after Leonard P. Zachem. He was a civil rights activist. He spent his life bridging people together, so they named the bridge after him. How appropriate. And when the bridge was dedicated to his memory, his favorite rock star, Bruce Springsteen.
ఇక్కడితో టూర్ అయిపోయిందండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ వాచింగ్. మీకు ఈ వీడియో నచ్చిందని అనుకుంటున్నాను. నచ్చినట్టయితే నా ఛానల్లో మోర్ వీడియోస్ ఉన్నాయి. ప్లీజ్